What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. If you didn't watch my video yesterday, Community Crossroads, recommend you checking out. Want to take a little bit deeper look at it in terms of how we treat each other, how we interact with each other, because I am just as guilty as this as anyone else. So take a look here. Keith Hall last year asks, Madden 18 will be disappointing if it doesn't hammer home what 5 things. Hollywood Sports gets tagged, to which he responded, Madden will never be a disappointment for me. The game needs to get better, but Madden is a good game. It's fun and entertaining. That's his opinion. And there was a time that I would get very irritated about that and not understand that. Take a look one step further here, JP Davis. I want to take a look at somebody going sequentially from one game to the next game to the next game. So this is a 4-year-old tweet. Madden 15 is near perfection, is what this quote says. Now, when you have a game that's near perfection, it's hard for it to get better. So when you take a look at Madden 16 here, Madden 16 is the new standard for football games, the most consistent football game to date. So you go from a perfect game to the new standard for football games, the most consistent football game ever created. Where does that leave us with Madden 17, you ask? Well, Madden 17 is one of his top 3 sports games to date, in which someone responds, Madden 2005, NFL 2K5, 2 of my favorite games. He decrees, yes, it is in their company. So where does this leave an opinion of Madden 18, Madden 19? If the game is already at that standard and there's no level of regression, obviously you have to understand that person's mindset. And I think a lot of times, and I guarantee you, someone is watching this video right now that's angry at Josh and angry at Hollywood Sports. And that is something that I've learned the past couple weeks in dealing with developers. We have to change the way that we treat each other. It goes without saying that I don't agree with either of these people. But rather than just disagree with them, I have to try to learn from them. If you truly feel this way, fantastic. Explain to me what helps you draw these conclusions. Or let me show you why I don't think the game is as good as you think it is. And then maybe we can either, number 1, come to some type of agreement, or number 2, maybe you're seeing something I don't. Maybe you have a different perception of something. Maybe you've had a different experience that I haven't had. And I think that's one of the things we really have to strive going forward, because the problem is when a developer looks at these interactions, they don't know who is arguing with who. They don't know whether you are arguing with them that the game is horrible, or they are arguing with you that the game is perfect. But they do know that there's no way to make that conversation better. You can't make a game better than perfect, and you're never going to convince somebody a game is better than they think it is, for the most part. But we're not learning from these examples. You know, another prime example is with Access Football. You know, there are people that will come out and wildly support a video. There are people that will come out and I'll show the quarterback movement video, where people rallied behind this video. Look at the likes and dislikes. And then you take a look at gameplay video, and it's the same game. It's actually the same beta, and there's a completely different response. There's people that sit there and say those changes aren't in the game, that they don't see them. Rather than get defensive, okay, what don't you see? What are you seeing that's the same? How can I help show you some of these differences? Or how can you show me where you don't see that things have changed? Because, as I said in the other video, we have to get back to open these lines of communication. Because if we don't, all we're really doing is arguing with each other. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be people that are going to love everything, and there's going to be people that are going to hate everything. And you're not always going to learn something from every single situation. But the problem is, we're getting so much down to arguing and disrespecting and discrediting each other that we're losing opportunities to go back to developers with ways to improve the game. And that's the core message here. If the game is perfect to you, and I can help put something in the game that makes it better for me, then shouldn't we both be satisfied? Your game, in a way, is getting more perfect, and the game that you love so much is getting more playable for me. And I think we've been missing that for a really long time, and I think so much of it has just boiled down from constant frustration because none of us are truly happy with where the community is. So rather than kind of take it out constructively, we're just starting to take it out on each other. We have an opportunity this year with Madden to look at kind of a more open beta than we ever have. And I hope that they would continue to follow this kind of open beta example where we can all show we have a better idea now of how to communicate and share ideas than we did 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. And if this is something that's been implemented by new development teams, then that's even better. Nothing against Rex, nothing against Clint or anyone that used to work on this game that didn't have these opportunities presented to us. But I feel like looking at what's presented to us, myself included, we haven't made the best of the opportunities that we've had. But we have 3 prime examples of reasons we need to move forward in a much more positive way. We have to stop making it about each other. We have to stop making it against me versus this channel versus this channel versus this channel. We need to get back to the days we communicated together. And if you think football games from EA are the best thing ever, then great. I need to know why. And if you think Canuck and Axis make the worst games on the planet, fantastic. I need to know why. And you need to give me an opportunity to prove my point, and I'll give you an opportunity to prove yours. And then once we come to a collective whole of where we are, hopefully we can take a much more refined opinion and definition of simulation football back to a developer and say, listen, this is what we as a community want to bring to you. This is what we want to share with you, and we hope it makes the game better, because that's what we're here to do. Love to know what you guys think about this. Appreciate you checking it out. You know that I'll be back in the week with more commentary.